My dad found out my salary, then tried to hand my house to my spoiled sister, so I made him regret it. I bought my first house when I was 27. Nothing fancy, just a 3-bedroom ranch in a decent neighborhood about 20 minutes from downtown. I'd been saving for 6 years, working as a software developer at a startup that eventually got bought out by a bigger company. The buyout came with stock options that I cashed in for the down payment. My parents knew I bought a house, but I never told them exactly how much I made or what the place cost. My dad always had this weird thing about money where he'd get competitive or jealous if he thought you were doing better than him. My little sister Brittany, on the other hand, never worked a real job in her life. She's 24 now and still lives with our parents, bouncing between part-time gigs at coffee shops that she quits after 2 weeks because the manager looked at her wrong or whatever. Dad always made excuses for her, saying she was still figuring things out and needed time to find her passion. Last month, Dad called asking if he could stop by to see the house. He'd never actually visited since I moved in 2 years ago. Always had some excuse about being busy. I said sure, thinking maybe he finally wanted to connect or whatever. He showed up on a Saturday morning and I gave him the full tour. Showed him the updated kitchen, the backyard with a deck I built myself, the home office where I work remotely 3 days a week. He kept asking questions about the mortgage, the property taxes, what my monthly payments looked like. I should have seen it coming, but I was stupid. I told him I'd paid off half the mortgage already because of some bonuses from work. His whole expression changed when I said that, like he was doing math in his head. A week later, Dad calls me sounding all serious, says he needs to talk to me about something important involving family. I drive over to my parents' house thinking maybe someone's sick or there's an emergency. I walk in and Brittany's sitting on the couch looking smug, which immediately put me on edge. Dad sits me down and says he's been thinking about fairness and how he's failed as a father by not helping both his kids equally. I'm confused, asking what he means. Then he drops it. He says since I'm doing so well financially and Brittany is struggling, the fair thing would be for me to let Brittany live in my house, not as a roommate, as the owner. He wants me to sign the deed over to her so she can have stability and a fresh start. I literally laughed because I thought he was joking, but his face was dead serious. Brittany jumped in saying she'd always wanted her own place and this house would be perfect for her lifestyle. My lifestyle. She actually said that. Dad started getting aggressive when he saw I wasn't agreeing, talking about how family helps family, how I was being selfish, how I clearly didn't need the house as much as Brittany did since I make good money. I asked if he was insane, suggesting I just hand over a house I bought with my own money. Brittany started crying, saying I never cared about her and always acted like I was better than everyone. Dad told me I had 1 week to think about it and do the right thing. I left completely stunned. For the next few days, Dad kept calling and texting, sending me articles about sibling relationships and family obligations. Brittany posted on Facebook about how hard it is when your own brother won't help you achieve your dreams. Some relatives I barely talked to started messaging me asking why I was being so cruel. That's when I decided to handle this my way. I called a family meeting at a restaurant, told everyone who'd been messaging me to show up if they wanted to hear my side. My parents came, Brittany came, 3 aunts and uncles came, even my grandma showed up. I brought a folder with me, started pulling out documents showing every text message Dad sent me demanding I give Brittany my house, showed the Facebook post Brittany made painting me as the bad guy. Then I pulled out bank statements showing that Dad had given Brittany over $40,000 in the last 3 years for her failed business ideas and rent payments. Money he claimed he didn't have when I asked for help with college applications or when I needed a co-signer for my first apartment. The table went completely silent. I looked at Dad and said, "You never helped me with anything. I built this life myself while you funded her failures, and now you want me to hand her my house because you feel guilty." My grandma, who's always been no nonsense, looked at Dad and said, "That's disgusting. You should be ashamed." My uncle started asking Dad why he thought this was even remotely reasonable. Brittany tried defending herself, but my aunt shut her down, saying she's 24 years old and needs to grow up. Dad's face was red. He tried saying I ambushed him, that this was a private family matter. I told him he made it public when he got relatives involved to pressure me. I stood up, said I'm done being treated like a bank account for Brittany's comfort, and left. Haven't talked to Dad or Brittany since. Changed my locks just in case. My grandma called me the next day saying she's cutting Brittany out of her will after seeing how entitled she's become. Dad apparently got torn apart by the whole family for his ridiculous demand. Some cousins told me he's been complaining that I made him look bad, but honestly, he did that himself. My house is still mine and staying that way.